to episode 48 of Zines and Roger Crochet Vlogcast. I am Rosina and this is a video about the usual stuff I talk about, which is crochet, all things crochet and what I've been up to. And today I'm going to crochet while I do it because I started this yesterday and it's really addictive and I want to keep going. I just realised now I'm talking, my hearing is gone. I can't hear very well, so if I sound loud or pause and go bleh, it's because every time my voice goes bleh bleh bleh, my ears are going douche douche douche. And I know the reason why. It's because I've been listening to too much loud music and I think I've damaged my ears. It's terrible. What I'm making, I hope you're alright by the way, hello. Sorry, I'm distracted by this. I could start again, couldn't I? But I don't think I will, I might as well just keep talking. I'm making a granny cowl because it's the granny cowl. We are now a week into the granny cowl for 2019, and seeing as I'm hosting the cowl, I need to do some granny stuff, and I haven't got time to make a huge blanket or a jumper or anything, and so I figured that this was the way to go. It's just a cowl, but it looks sort of like a shawl, but because it's a cowl it's dead quick, so you don't have the vast expanse of fabric you create with a shawl, but you create the illusion that you do, so it eventually just wraps around like that. Quite nice. I like that. It's quite exciting. I started this yesterday when I went to the Creative Business Network in Exeter, which is basically like a crafty get together so people can sort of talk about what they've been up to. Predominantly it's people that have crafty businesses, but it can be any kind of craft, any kind of creative stuff. So there's illustrators and jewellery makers, cross stitchers and embroiderers. Yesterday there was a knitter who wasn't knitting, but there were 3 crocheters and all 3 of us were crocheting, so it was marvellous. But I wanted something to make when I was there, because you're there for a couple of hours chatting, and why not do the thing that you do whilst you're there? And also it's my own design that's in this month's issue of Molly Makes, and I've no idea if I'll get the original design returned to me again. I wanted to see what it looked like in different colours too, so I thought I'd make another one for the cowl. It looks great. I'm really happy with that. I'll show you the original picture. Oh look, there it is on the front cover of Molly Makes. OMG. 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 I am so pleased because I was absolutely papping it. I started it around Christmas time and it was not the easiest of projects and was a lot of work, but I wanted it to be perfect. It had to be perfect. But look, it's just like been given pages and pages. It looks fabulous. I mean, the styling of it in the magazine is just spot on. When I saw it, I shouted out loud with delight. I was so chuffed. And also, so it's a few pages of the pattern with photograph tutorial and stuff like that. I took all the photographs, not the styling of the model and stuff like that. I didn't do those ones. They're way better than I could do. But the step-by-step pics are mine. And then they did a little mini write-up to meet the maker type thing with some pictures of my other work. But they mentioned the cowl. They mentioned the granny cowl. I mean, how amazing is that? I was so chuffed, so chuffed. So hopefully it'll bring more granny fans to the surface. That's my ultimate goal. So totally thrilled with that. But look, just look at it again, just because it's so nice. The blue really brings out the colours. Just makes them look glorious. I love it. I love it. This is issue 103 and it's out now. It's a sustainable issue, so it focuses on all things sustainable, how to make things in an ecological way. There's a couple of other crochet patterns in there as well as a crochet basket you could make from Emma Beale, who is Stitching Me Softly. I can never remember people's I can either remember your name and not your Instagram, or your Instagram and not your name. I talked about that last time. So lots of things in that issue, but I'm really proud of myself for being on the front cover of a magazine, like the main feature. I know I'm blowing my own trumpet a little bit too hard, but I don't care. Sorry. But so anyway, I'm making that cowl that's on the front, right? But I'm not doing the same amount of colours. My main colour is, I've just done a stash dive and got 100 grams of Stylecraft Life DK. So the Life, unlike the Special, has wool in it. So it's a bit more woolly, bit warmer. And I'm mixing it up with these, which I got from, so my ears are going to, I got from Yarndale in September. These two actually were part of a little mini set to go with what is a knitted jumper called the Vault Sweater, which I was never going to make, but I really like these colours together, so I bought them. And then I matched it up with a Coop Knits 50 gram skein of double knit. These are double knit. I reckoned this one was 25 grams. This one probably was 50 as well. So just over 200 grams originally. I don't think I'll use it all, but alright, but I don't know. So that's my phone kicking off. Ugh. I'll check those later, don't worry. Won't be rude and do it now. So that's what I'm making today, but I'm also making another granny project, which is my other work in progress. I am aware that I jumped straight in to talking about my whips today rather than any sort of preamble, but I figured that's alright. I don't think I have a single finished object this time round. I've seriously lost all crochet mojo. Last week was half term, so I had the kids at home and I didn't want to do anything at all, and so pretty much I didn't. Instead I did the garden and dug over the veg beds ready for planting, which I need to go and do this weekend. And we went away for the night. We went to Cardiff. It's only a couple of hours from here. About 6 months ago we booked tickets to see Fatboy Slim, and did you remember when I was moaning about it, going, I don't want to go, it's going to suck, it's going to be rubbish, everybody else wants to go apart from me. I had the best night I've had for years and years. It was brilliant. I loved it. And it makes me laugh so much because I was such a miserable cow about it until we got there. And then we got there and there was a rugby match on, and the stadium's dead centre in the centre of Cardiff, and so there were people everywhere, all dressed in red. We stuck out like sore thumbs because we weren't dressed in red. We weren't there to watch Wales play England at the rugby. But it was rammed with people. The atmosphere was amazing. Just walking around, it's just like, wow. And then sort of you go to a couple bars, have a few beers, We had burger for our tea, and before we knew it, we were in a pub. We watched the rugby on a TV screen in the pub, which was really good fun. I really enjoyed it. I'm not a sporty person. I don't do sport, not in the slightest. If I had to choose a sport, I'd probably do a few lengths at the swimming pool. I'm not sporty. I'm not athletic. I'm a crocheter. That's my sport. But it was just really atmospheric, and just you couldn't help but be sort of swept along in the excitement of it all. And then it was time to go into the arena to go and dance, and yeah, danced my socks off. Everything was brilliant. I loved it, because I don't actually like those sort of well-known Fatboy Slim tracks from years and years ago, like 20 odd years ago, from the 90s. They're sort of a bit slow for me, but they've all been jazzed up for the modern age, and they've got some proper beats to them now, and so it's just stomping my feet all night. And then there was some disco as well. It was just brilliant, and I danced the night away, and have been listening to music really loud ever since. And when we left, it's like, you know, you get that ringing in your ears, and it's like whoop, whoop, whoop. Yeah, I had that for a bit, and then it disappeared, and for 2 days I didn't have anything, and then yesterday it started again. And I think it's because every time I've gone out for a walk, or just been sat at home writing up stuff on the computer, I've been listening to music at a terribly high volume. So I need to stop. I need to have a break. So I'm going to be music free tonight. I'm going out to a quiz tonight. Doing my quiz tonight. Right, so yes, that's not crochet, is it? So I've been doing non-crochet things a lot, and not really wanting to sort of sit down. I've been too kind of full of beans, I suppose, to sit down. So where are we? What else? So there's this whip, but there's also the other one, which I did mention last week, which I have readjusted. I did this in the car on the way to Cardiff. I don't think I did any on the way back because I was knackered. But instead we just listened to loud music. So this is my shape for a new cowl. Okay. So as you can see, this end is wider than this end, and I shall join the two in a strange and peculiar asymmetrical fashion to create, I think it's going to be like that. So it'll look like that when it's on. And I'll tell you a secret. This was one of my initial ideas for the Molly Makes cover. I was asked to come up with ideas for a potential cover, and this was the other option. So, not the colours, and not this is chunky yarn, so it would have been completely different. But the other one was chosen. But I figured I may as well make use of a design that I've now drawn out and sort of worked out, sort of. And I still need to sew on those ends. So this will become probably a tutorial. I said that, didn't I, already? I will sort of make up a video tutorial so that I can tell people how to make it. Like that. But I think, to add those. Do you think I should introduce a fourth colour? I've got a grey that I could use as the border, and maybe ignore those, use those as tassels. I don't like the colours. I like the net, but I don't like this teal. This pink is too pale. This is nice. I don't think it's my cup of tea. But it's good to use in this project, but I might pass it on. Once it's finished, I'll gift the shawl cowl thingamajig to somebody else, I dare say. But that's like so near completion, but not there yet. I've had to put it down because I'm actually working on a commission, really. I'm supposed to be working on a commission, which I'll do later. I need to post it tomorrow, and I'm cutting it a bit fine, really. Right, I have another work in progress, right, but it's knitting, and I've done 4 rows. Where is it? Where are you? Oh. The knitting needle has ended up in my mug. Right. So I'm using some yarn that Christina sent me. Christina is Fog and Pine on Instagram. She hand dyed this herself. I've got 4 skeins, which I think I've got 4, maybe it's 3. I've got 3 skeins of this, which will be plenty for the Garters Ahoy shawl, which is knitted, as I've said. And look at that. I've got 4 whole rows. It's pathetic, isn't it? I got further than that the other day, but I had to rip it back because I realised that I think I'd missed some increases. I knew exactly what I'd done. I could tell once I got to that stage. I went, oh bum, and had to rip it back. Just rip it out completely, essentially. So it's getting a bit... I'm getting there. There's a technique in this pattern that I'm unaccustomed to. I think I've got it. I think I've done it right. I'm not sure what it means and what it's going to achieve. And I guess I'll find out when it's a bit bigger and I can see what the technique is doing. I say technique, I don't know if that's the right word. But basically I'm doing a M1R and an M1L. I think I'm doing them right, but I don't know. And as I've just said, I think I'll probably find out what those things look like and what they're meant to do once I'm a bit further in than just that. But that was last week when I didn't want to crochet. But I didn't get very far because I had to I had a few false starts. I'm hoping that that is not a false start and that I can continue, because it looks like it should be quite straightforward and that the repeats and stuff won't be too much of an issue once I get stuck in. We'll see, but there was something else I was supposed to do as well and I've forgotten what it is. Oh, my jumper. Haven't picked that jumper up much. Has it grown much? A little bit maybe? It looks so small. It will fit though. It will. Just once it's blocked. I'm probably coming up for the sleeve section now, I would say. Sleeve section, that bit, the shoulders. But that is very slow progress. Right, don't go away, because although those are my only whips that I'm going to talk about, because the other ones you've seen already, that whip pile is growing. I've got plenty more to talk about. You could also argue that I've got another work in progress, in that I have been making some more crochet hooks, and I've made these ones this time. I'll show you in just a sec. Here you go. I'll have to take a photograph and put them on the blog so you can see. These sticks came from my garden and I have whittled them and sanded them, but I haven't oiled them yet because they're just sort of the practice runs really, and I didn't know whether or not they'd be keepers, or whether or not they'd be strong enough. A bit more sanding needs to go on because they're not quite perfect yet, but they're pretty damn good actually. This one comes from my rosemary bush, and it's a bit flaky, this, so I've picked off a lot of it but tried to keep as much as possible. But out of the 3 of them, it's the easiest one to use. The most difficult one to use is this one, but it looks the best. This one came from the rose bush we hacked down. So this one is rose, and I had splinters galore after I'd done this one because of trying to chop up the wood, the branches and stuff outside. I've still got a little scab on my knuckle from a thorn, and then I had a nice splinter. Oh no, still got a nice splinter from where there was one in my thumb. They were so tiny that I just said I'd let my hand dry up so I could pick them off rather than try and get the splinters out with tweezers. So this sits very nicely in the hand, but when you use it, it feels heavy, too heavy this end, and you can feel it sort of bedoinging in your hand as you work. But looks-wise, it's fabulous. And I like the fact that I know where this was, where it grew, where it came from. Likewise with the rosemary. These came from my garden. I've used this rosemary in my cooking. It's just fabulous. And then there's this one. This is a holly one. And there's loads of holly next door, either side of me, and none in our garden with big enough twiggy bits to do. This is the fattest piece I could find, and I didn't want to reach over because I think it's illegal to steal plants from your neighbours. Of course it is. It's totally illegal. And if you chop off branches that are overhanging your own garden, you're not allowed to keep them. You have to pop them back over the fence. So this was the only bit I found that was big enough in my garden, and it was actually dead. So I might have to go on a walk into the countryside to find holly, because I actually, out of the 3 of these bits of wood, the holly was the best. But this is not the best example of a holly twig. But I like this hook too. I haven't used this one yet. But they're just sort of, I'm experimenting. I'm working on getting better. But it's never going to be my main thing. You know, like Knitbrooks does updates once every couple of months with lots of hooks. I'm never going to do that because it's so much work. And also I don't want to tread on anybody else's toes by selling. Is it somebody else? I mean, people have been doing this for centuries. It can't possibly be like, it's not an original idea, but somebody already does it. So, and I want to crochet. I don't want to use crochet time to whittle hooks, really, even though it's really good fun to do. And it does sort of get quite, I wanted to do it. I felt the urge to do it, and so I did it. But I'm never going to do it when I don't have that urge. I have to have the urge. Does that make sense? So I might give one. I'm definitely going to give one of those away, and I'm going to keep one as well, and then make a couple more. Maybe I'll sell them. Don't know. But the other ones I've gone on about, I haven't got any here. They're more ergonomic and easy to use, and I can use those in projects. Whereas those ones are sort of, they just look pretty. So I've been doing that as well. And then I have the stripy, the Grainbow shawl in testing at the moment, right? And do you remember I said I was going to use a testing pool on Ravelry? I'm leaving that group. Didn't like it. That was a horrible experience. I'm never using the testing pool again. People were just mean. It's like I've never used it before. I tried to follow the rules as best I could, but you just can't please some people. I had feedback from a good couple of people, loads of people just disliking all these comments, people that wanted to offer to test for me, others were disliking their comments because they wanted to test for me. Why did they disagree? Because I'd said that you needed to use a specific yarn and they couldn't use yarn from Stash. Well, if you're not willing to do that, then this test isn't for you. You can just scroll on to the next test and be interested in that one. You don't have to comment if it's something you're not interested in. You can move on, surely. I found some wonderful testers, some who had the yarn I was asking them to use. They already had it in stash. And they loved the yarn anyway. I was able to pass on a discount for the yarn. That was the best I could do, but I can't afford to buy like 6 lots of yarn for testers. Wouldn't it be great if you could pass on all the yarn to your testers? I can't afford it. So it was a really negative experience, and I didn't enjoy it, and it made me feel like crap. And so I'll leave the testing pool and find somewhere else, and also ask you guys, because you guys are lovely and you've always done a terrific job whenever I've asked you. I just thought I'd try something a bit different, and it backfired. So I don't know, I just thought it would be easier somehow and take a weight off, and I wouldn't feel kind of like I was being a burden on people. Like, these were people that were asking to be a tester rather than me sort of begging for it. I don't know, so it's just, yeah. Let's move on to something a bit more jolly. I bought some wax, not crochet related, but crafty. I just went on Amazon and bought this because I'm going to make some of those, I'm going to use some of my fabric stash and make those wax wraps for like covering foodstuffs. So whilst it's not back crochet, it's kind of crafty, so I'm going to do that. That's on my agenda. And what else? I've got a giveaway to do. Right, let's do a giveaway. I've got 2 in actual fact. One is a legit one, and one is just stuff I don't want that I thought maybe you would, if that's all right. Right, let's stop with that. It's a distraction. Okay, so the first one, oh, actually, I just picked up these. I was going to tell you about these. Look, I got myself some business cards. I've never had business cards before. How fancy is that? They say Zines and Roger on that side, and then on the other side is a picture of Havana Nights blanket. And they're really little, because they were cheaper, and I could get more for my money. Such a tight ass, aren't I? So I thought if I went to yarn festivals and things like that, I've got something to hand out. Whereas when I went to Yarndale, quite a few people were like, have you got a business card so I can contact you? It's like, no. And I just had to scrawl my name down on a piece of paper, which was probably promptly lost. But now I've got the real deal and I feel a bit more professional. That was a digression. Okay, a giveaway for the Succulents book. I must take some photographs this afternoon actually, just so I can pop one up on the blog. I have decided that I'm not going to make any cacti, but maybe you would like to make some cacti, so, or one cactus. So if you would like this book, please comment below. You don't have to say much. Hold on a moment, let me go and think of what you should say. Okay, I've got it. Tell me if you're green-fingered. Tell me if you can actually keep cacti alive. Because I can't. I'm alright outside in the garden, but my houseplants are constantly being replaced because they always die. My spider plants do alright, but I think that's probably because you don't need to do much to them. I kill succulents all the time because I either give them no water at all or give them far too much and then they just go and rot. I had a money plant once which was beautiful, and I bought it so it was quite big. It was already sort of on its way to being a good established plant, and then one day I just sort of gave it a pint of water and all these like those little plump leaves just went. I think I must have touched it and they all just went. So no, I am not green-fingered indoors, but outdoors seem to do all right. At least I can grow vegetables and things, stuff for us to eat, in enough purple sprouting that by the end of the season my kids are sick of it. Ditto courgettes, runner beans and all the other beans. So yes, if you want to be entered to the giveaway, that's what you must do. Tell me whether or not you're green fingered. Tell me a little story about your garden or your indoor plant loves, if you so desire. And then I'll post this out, because this was given to me for free by the publisher. It is by Emma Varnum, and it's got some beautiful, beautiful projects in it. So if you want it, if you're going to make some crocheted succulents, or what was it I said last time? Succulent. Succulent. Then yeah, you know what to do. Quite like that one. Reminds me more of a radicchio though. I grew radicchio once, it was disgusting. It's like solid lumps of earwax or something. Gross. But when I've had it in a restaurant, it's been perfectly alright. It's just, obviously it was like really intense or something. Maybe my soil's wrong. Right. Oh yeah, this one. I bought a sewing magazine the other day. Why did I do that? Oh yeah, because it had free sewing patterns in it. I didn't see these ones. There were 3 sewing patterns, and the first one I think I will make because it's a pretty dress. At some point, probably never. But these 2 were hiding behind the pretty dress pattern, and I don't like either of them. I'm never gonna ever gonna make shirts, just not. So if you want these, I'm happy to whack them in the post to you. Just give me a shout if you're going to make them. But they would not suit my shape in the slightest. But they came from a sewing magazine that I just sort of bought impulsively. Shouldn't be so impulsive. It was a waste of £6. But I was excited because the Molly Makes issue was right next to it. What a dick. Right, last thing. I'm just going to go make a cup of tea first though, because I'm all tired. Hang on. 2 days ago, I had a parcel in the post. Sorry, I don't know why I'm doing this. Yeah. 2 days ago, I got a parcel in the post, and I got 2 books. I was only expecting one, so I was dead chuffed. How many times can I be chuffed? I was very happy to receive 2 crochet books, both by Tracy Todd Hunter, who is Granny Cool Crochet on Insta. Tracy has written several books, not just on crochet, but also on other stuff. She has designed for the crochet magazines too, and been doing it for quite some time. But I knew I was going to get this one, the 200 crochet stitches, but I didn't know I was going to get this one, which is sort of like a learning book. I've had a brief look through both of these, and my first thoughts are yes. I think this one's been out a while, but they've reissued it as a new print, as a new edition. But I could totally have done with this when I first started. These views are my own, by the way, and they haven't asked me to say anything. The usual guff, you know. I don't have to pretend to love them. But the content in this book covers everything. It even has like 2 whole pages on just sewing in your ends, which if you are a total beginner, you do kind of go, where do these go then? Do I just shove them in amongst the other stitches? Is that what you do? You kind of, well, I found out everything just through experimenting and playing. But there's like stuff for crochet cords and how best to finish off with edging and stuff. Which, as somebody's, I've been crocheting for years, and it does sort of, you do kind of often assume that people know this kind of stuff, and they don't when they're first starting. I didn't, and I can remember being really frustrated by how things turned out and how they looked, because nobody told me how you joined in the best way. Or I remember when I tried to join as you go for the first time, and the only place I saw it was Attic 24. There were no books that had that information. Not that I saw, none in my local library, none of the ones that I'd bought, then none of them had that information. So I was just looking, sometimes you talk and then you realise you haven't hit record, and it's really annoying. So I do like to keep an eye on that red dot. There's stuff about broomstick, hairpin, Tunisian, there's patterns, not just designs by Tracy herself but by other people too, so it's a good mix of stuff. There's stuff about chevrons, mesh and filet. It's like a really general overlay, I have found. I haven't read it from cover to cover, okay, I haven't. But I've glanced through it a good couple of times and gone, this is a really good resource. I do actually quite like this pretty one. It's a nice square. But it tells you how to make it. There are lots of steps and lots of explanations. It assumes that, you know, that you don't know anything, which as a beginner you need. Stuff about joining, finishing it off and all of that. Love it. I don't know when it was first published actually. 2016 it says, but this edition is 2019. It's a Search Press book, and I know they do a lot of craft books. What's it? The other one was, is it Chico? That they do a lot of craft books, don't they? But that other one is from another publisher entirely. So there's that. But this one, right, is going to be, what's that word? What's the word? Wait, invaluable. It's going to be invaluable. When you buy stitch dictionaries, a lot of the time stitches are repeated throughout all the different volumes. So you might see, you know, the same old fan stitches in each book, no matter who it's by or whatever. You see a repeat of those patterns and you think, well, why did I buy this book? Because there's only like 5 new stitches in there. All the rest have been sort of churned out elsewhere. This is the first time I've seen a British Western book where there are shed loads of unique stitches that I've never seen before. I say the Western books because I've got a few books that are Japanese books, and those stitches in those books are like none I've ever seen before. Not all of them, but a lot of them are ones I've never seen in any other dictionary. So it's interesting to see it happen in a book where usually they're all the same. This one they're not. I dare say there are going to be some duplicates, but I'm not sure I'm allowed to show you, really. Sorry. I'm just teasing. But I'll see what I can find. What I will do is, like, this is the first page, right? And it's just a load of different rib stitches. Some of them look like knitting. I don't know if you'll be able to see them. But I've never seen that in a book, where you've got a load of alternatives for just a rib. Kudos. That's great. Some of these do actually look knitted, but not that that should be a thing, because we love crochet for crochet's sake. But just saying. And there's another page where you've got a rib sort of stitch, and then some stitches as well. Like, you know, I a while back because I'm making this jumper, I did succumb to the linen stitch or moss stitch, because it kind of created a flat fabric that wasn't like you couldn't see the deliberate rows of crochet, which you frequently do see in crochet. This created a flat fabric, I searched high and low for other alternatives. That's tautology, isn't it? For alternatives. They're in here. Stupendos. So I'm really glad they asked me to look at this book and review it. I might write a blog post about it actually, because I really like it. But I'm going to do a giveaway as well. But not this episode, I'll do it next episode. I think it's this one, not the other one. I'm not sure if it's both. I'll have to refer back to the email. I did talk to the publisher and they said that they would give another copy as a giveaway copy. They will send it direct to the winner, so I don't have to post that out. But yeah. So yeah, I'm going to gush about that one because first impressions are positive. So yes. I bought a new mug, £2.50 in the sale at Sainsbury's. I'm a cheapskate, I never buy like, why would anybody spend a £5 on a mug when you can spend £2.50? We've got so many mugs, it's ridiculous. I never used to be a mug person. You know, people are mug people and they collect them and they have loads of different ones. I've never been like that, apart from the last 6 months. I've seemed to have doubled our collection, which is quite big anyway. Whoops. Right. That's pretty much it. I've got plans for so many things for the next few months. Tutorials, blog posts, photographs, patterns and stuff. It's just, I need to find the time to do it all. Got to stop going to dances and buggering about in my garden. Got to crack on, head down. I'm getting there, I feel like things are moving in the right direction, so that's good. So yes, I've had my hair cut this morning, so it's much lighter. It feels, but she's put something in it and it's got all crispy. I think she said it was a thing to encourage my curls to form. It's like you either got them or you haven't. Surely a cream doesn't form curls for you. Your hair just pings in that shape. Can you believe I asked for a fringe? Did I get one? No. She's like, oh, but it looks so nice, just swept like this. You can sweep it, and then it looks really nice. I was like, okay, but I quite like a fringe. She's like, well, we'll cut it short so it is like a fringe, but it's just one that sweeps. So can I have a heavy one? Oh, but this looks so nice. Okay. Can I come back? Yeah, you can come back. So next week I'll probably go back and go, no, can you actually give me the fringe that I wanted in the first place? But I couldn't show her a picture because my internet had run out. I'd run out of credit on my phone and I couldn't, and she had no Wi-Fi at the hairdressers. So I couldn't get pictures up of the thing I wanted, which was the mullet job from last time. This is better than the last one I had, I have to say. It's very light. Right, that's it. Fingers crossed that next time I'll have some more projects to show. I've got loads of stuff I want to make, so much. Do you ever have that? Well, of course you do. I know everybody does that. I have major lists of all the things that they really, really want to make and get excited about. Yeah, right. Thank you so much for coming. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And do this, the thumbs up. Not the thumbs down, because that's mean and nasty. I won't know why you've given me a thumbs down. At least if you give me a thumbs up, I know you've liked it. Thumbs down. I don't know why you didn't like it. Why should that be more important? It shouldn't be more important, should it? No, don't worry. Just right. I'll see you again. Cheerio. Bye bye.